hate to be the one to bring this to you, but this country is going to hell in a handbasket. You just can't go around robbing banks anymore and using that newfound capital to buy cocaine and fuck a bunch of hookers. So I'm gonna pack up my shit and I'm going back to Kentucky, where all this fun and shenanigans is still legal. Okay?
Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. And before we get into this wild, exciting, crazy day in the Bitcoin price, you can see we've been up, we've been down. It's been like a jaggedy roller coaster today of emotions. Before we do that, if we just go over here real quick and we see a link that I have here, right? You see this link that I got going on here? We got our BitGet partnership link, and we got all our other links that you know about. Get your Ledger Nano X if it's not your crypto. If it's not on a hard wallet, it's not your crypto, right? Private keys are not your crypto. It's open to heisting and shysting by charlatans out there that are looking to steal your crypto on exchanges. Get a Ledger Nano X. Use my Amazon affiliate link down below. It is a vital part of trading crypto. But see this? It's right under the BitGet partnership link. If you want to trade this crazy volatility, use old Vincenzo's link there. But see, join old Vincenzo at College Football News. Click that link right there, and it takes you to the best pregame and postgame highlights and reactions and predictions in college football, right? With all the biggest games, only the biggest games we cover. And you can see the first game that we covered was Scott Frost, right? His embarrassment. Week 1, Nebraska Cornhuskers versus Northwestern highlights. Big Ten football, right? Time to fire Scott Frost. It's a very good video. We already got 2 views somehow, even though the channel has just started. Join me if you're a college football fan. If you're not a college football fan, share it to your college football friends that are fans, right? This is the best pregame and postgame, pregame predictions, postgame highlights and reactions to the biggest games in college football. When Alabama plays Auburn, when Michigan plays Ohio State, when Ohio State plays Notre Dame, right? When you got Texas A&M playing Alabama, when you got LSU playing Alabama, right? When you have USC playing UCLA, this is where, when you think of college football highlights, this is the channel you want to come to, and you want to come over here and subscribe, right? You want to come here, subscribe. This is where all the action's going to be. We're going to do live betting during the games, right? Games that I'm betting on, we're going to go breaking in live, cover games live, right? Make live bets, and this is where it's all at. And this is an excellent video. I posted it on this site for you guys here to watch it, to see if you're a college football fan, what you can look forward to while watching college football news, right? See that college football news with the Michigan in the background, the college football news in the middle, and this is your best site. When you think of college football, you think of college football news. Come support the new channel. Subscribe, even if you don't care about college football. Give me some subscriptions, like my videos. It helps in the algorithm, and it is a way for you to show some love for me dedicating you a year and a half to these cryptocurrency videos. I keep you updated on this. Help me get my new channel off the ground to get some viewers as we head in to week 1 of the college football season. And we have our first ever pregame predictions and look ahead to the game. Number 2, Ohio State versus number 5, Notre Dame. If you want to find out who to bet on or who's going to win that game, watch that video. I break it all down for you, right? So now that we're done with that nonsense, we're going to move on to bigger and better things here, the Bitcoin price, right? We came all the way down, and we were diagnosing this out yesterday, that this looked like a pattern, or 2 days ago when the price was in here, that we thought this may be the pattern. And we said if it flushed down, it would come back down to this old all-time high. And we even drew out a pattern if you watch the videos that look like that. And then if it wanted to get supported there, you would come back up to upper resistance and back test it. Now you're doing that. And this is the critical part right here. You see how you're back testing this? You've broken through. Now, the 2 things that almost always 100% of the time happen here on volatile moves like this, we don't want to be in there. We want to be in the 45-minute time frame. Thank you. Nope, a little bit closer. 30-minute time frame. Beautiful. Now, I would go a little bit closer. A little bit closer. Perfect. What often, almost always happens here is you're either going to get in here, fizzle out, get rejected, trade back underneath down to the moving averages, make another run back at this upper resistance and get harshly rejected and trade all the way back down and bleed down to this next underneath target that we got down there at 19,893, which would be the top part of the orange support zone. but your technical target from this mini bear flag that you were, or not this mini bear flag, the bear flag that you were breaking out of in the hour time frame. See that one? Your technical target for that is just below there, all the way down at about the 18,669, right? So that's option one. Option two is you confirm in here, but see what I'm not liking here is you see the big volume that you had here? It was sell volume, and now the price is doing what? An up and sideways consolidation, right? With crashing volume after a dump. That is bearish or bullish in the case that this is going to be a fake out and break back to the downside. What you would have liked to see here for a turnaround was a down and sideways consolidation. It's the opposite after a dump with crashing volume. That would have been very bullish and often a sign that the price was going to turn around in a bottoming pattern and break up. But when I see this down here with that volume crashing and only sell volume up there, and I see an up and sideways price coming up against major upper resistance, this uptrending resistance line that was support here and it failed support here, the odds say it's a hook nose Jew pattern, but the other side of that is you get into this, get the buyers, and you start trading back up into this range, and then you got to make a decision a little bit later on up there, right? So that's what we're looking at here in the Bitcoin price. If we go into Luna, my man, this thing did explode like you thought, right? And you were asking for a target, and out of your bull flag that you were, out of your bull flag that you were looking at the other day, the technical target would be like this. Oops. We want to go here to here, would be from this to the top to this major overhead resistance that was back here, but you bring it to the point of a breakout in orange, and then your technical target would have been up there by that green ring at about, with a price label, would have been right up here at this blue ring at about point, a bunch of 0.17541 or just above, would have been your upper resistance, right? You had a great call. You thought it was going to go up. Initially, it did go down. I made that forecast over here that it would go to the 200-day moving average, and it initially, you can see, dropped down. Like you said, there was some news. I didn't know about the news, right? I'm just looking at the chart. I wish I would have known about the news, but I made this thinking it was going to go down right about there, and then we had that flush, which was a, whoopsie, it was about a 12% fall, right? So if you'd have been on leverage, that would have probably been enough in any leverage play that you played to stomp you out. But then it tagged a couple of times the 100-day moving average in blue and took off to the upside. And now you wanted the upper target. The upper target is up here if it meets it. But if it runs out of steam, what you would do is you would come all the way back down and initially back test this 13,450 and then either A, bounce up and do something like that and try to go on to the bull run again, or you would straddle this, fall through, hit the 200 in the hour time frame, come back up, get rejected, and start to trade back down, right? And you can see there's a fib circle right there too, right behind that horizontal support and resistance. So that's what you're looking at there. If you want to stay bullish in this, if it comes down in a consolidation and hits this orange line, as long as it holds the orange line, the 200 days is going to be sneaking up there. This would be a bullish consolidation. If it held that, came back up and breached this old high, that would be a very bullish consolidation and something that you would expect after a big run up, a nice consolidation. So you want to stay above the 100-day and more importantly, the 200-day moving average to stay bullish. And then you want to stay above this orange line that's running from left to right across your TV screen, phone, or laptop, whatever you would be watching this video on, right? And then if we come into here real quick, AGIX, you can see hasn't done anything yet. AGIX is just after that pump that we called. I forgot about this because it hasn't really done anything from that first big run up here that we were watching out for. And then we said it would likely get sold off, come back down towards the support. And if you're watching AGIX, what you want to look for is, does it hold this blue support zone? If it holds this blue support zone, you can have run to get back up into here at minimum and then see if it gets rejected harshly, or does it come up here and try to breach this old cluster right here, right? So as long as it stays above this blue zone, that's bullish because you would likely bounce back up into here again at the minimum. But if you slip this, start to back test this falling channel, that's going to be bearish because then you can come down, come back up and hit this blue zone from the bottom, look like that, and then tank back into this falling channel that we've been in for for a long time in AGIX, and it would look something similar to that if it took the bearish route. The bullish route would be to come up, hold this as the moving averages come around, you tag it one more time, and then take off to the upside and breach this old high right there, right? So that's what I'm looking at there. REVAIN coin, I believe this is called. You can see this hasn't really done anything since the last time we talked, but what we were looking at is it's got to hold this orange line down here as support if the moving averages keep pushing it down, right? As long as it holds this orange line, you can remain somewhat bullish after this big run up, as long as you don't get underneath that orange line and start tanking and using it as resistance. But your underneath initial support would be, we'd have to zoom out here in a minute. We'll zoom out and look at that in a minute. But if you hold this, your major upper resistance is this blue line that's running down just below this red area up here, which is the major volume traded range in this coin. So as long as you're below it, you're bearish, because if you came up to it, you would hit it and get rejected, because when you're on the bottom side of it, it's going to act as selling pressure up there. Conversely, if you're on top of that and it comes down from up above it and taps it underneath the price, that would be bullish usually, right? But you can see where you're at now. If it breaks down from this current line and breaks that all-time low, the floor is the limit, because it's in price discovery. So there is really no way to kind of predict that where it would go, but that's what you would want to look at. And then finally with the XRP price, let's see where this was at. I haven't been looking at this one really since this morning. Where are we at? We're trying to migrate our way back up in the hour time frame. We're making a little W, look at that, on this major support zone, but this has to actually go. I deleted it the other day. You guys watched me put it back on, but this is the reason it's there, because it goes all the way back into here and was a major support and resistance zone between the 30 and 32 and a quarter to 32 cent ish area, right around there. And you can see it's trying to form like a W or a double bottom right here, right, dancing beautifully on that. And if you can continue to hold that right here, you can stay short-term bullish, but you got to get above these moving averages and then hold them to try to make a run up here at that major upper resistance at 37 cents, where you've been rejected multiple times. Rejected, right? Rejected all in there. As we scroll along and look left at the chart, because that's what you got to do if you're trying to figure out the pattern. You have to look left at the chart. Rejected, 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 fake out, right? So that's what you would come up to in a major move to the upside, but your support on the downside would be 29 cents, and then your major underneath support and the micro time frame would be 26 cents. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love to my beautiful audience.